Hey everyone, we're going to jump right in and break down a super important part of your MIS syllabus today. My goal is to make this simple, clear, and yeah, perfect for your exams. So, let's get started.
Running a business is tough, right? It's exciting at first, but it gets messy really, really fast. But what if? What if you had a secret weapon, a tool that could cut through all that chaos and help you make way smarter decisions? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. So to make this real, let's talk about a guy named Rohan. He's a B.Tech student, probably a lot like you guys, and he has this awesome idea, an online store called Craft Connect, where local artists can sell their stuff. It's a fantastic idea, and you know what? It starts to take off.
But then comes the problem with success. It brings chaos. Suddenly, orders are flying in, and he can't keep track. Payments are getting missed. He has absolutely no idea what's in stock and what's sold out. His entire business is running on these horrible, messy spreadsheets. It's a total nightmare.
Okay, so Rohan's totally overwhelmed. He's basically drowning in this mess. But then he finds a solution. And this is where we get into our first big topic, the business toolkit. Let's see exactly how information systems came in and saved the day for Craft Connect.
All right, first tool in the box, the sales information system. Forget about just guessing what customers want. Think of this thing as a super smart detective for your business. It tracks every single sale, who bought what, and when, giving you a crystal clear picture of what's actually selling.
And for Rohan, man, this was a complete game changer. The system instantly showed him which products were the big hits. It pointed out who his most loyal customers were, and the best part? It created all the sales reports for him automatically. No more staying up all night staring at spreadsheets. So Craft Connect is growing, right? Rohan starts hiring more artists and a small team to help out. And surprise, surprise, a new problem pops up: managing people. That's where the human resources, or HR information system, comes in. It's basically a digital folder for everything and everyone on your team. And just like that, paying salaries became easy. Keeping track of who was on leave wasn't a headache anymore, and when he needed to hire more artists, the system helped him manage all the applications. It kept his team happy and everything organized.
Now for the big one, the most important part of any business, the money. An accounting information system is like the financial brain of your company. It watches every single rupee coming in and every single rupee going out. No exceptions.
This was huge for Rohan. For the very first time, he actually knew if he was making a profit. He could just click a button and get a full profit and loss statement. And when tax time came around, instead of a nightmare, all the information was perfectly organized. What a lifesaver.
Okay, remember that first big problem Rohan had? The one where he had no clue what was in stock? Well, the inventory information system is the hero that solves exactly that. It keeps a live, real-time count of every single item. I mean, think about how a company like Flipkart manages millions of items during a sale. It's all powered by a system like this, just on a much, much bigger scale.
And what a relief for Rohan. The system literally stopped him from selling products that were already gone. You know that super awkward situation? It just doesn't happen. It would even send him an alert when materials were running low so he could reorder. It gave him complete control over his stock.
Okay, let's quickly sum this up. Seriously, this slide is perfect to screenshot for your exam notes. Let's break it down. Sales IS tells him what to sell. HR IS keeps the team happy. Accounting IS shows him if he's making a profit. And Inventory IS makes sure he never runs out of stuff. Simple when you see it like that, right?
So Rohan's day-to-day business is finally organized. The chaos is gone. But now he's facing a much bigger challenge. We're not talking about daily operations anymore. We're talking about the future. And that brings us to our next major topic, making smarter decisions with a decision support system.
So business is booming, and Rohan is at a crossroads. He has a really tough choice to make. Should he try to expand Craft Connect to a new city, or should he launch a totally new line of products? This is the same kind of big question a company like Zomato has to ask. Do we expand to a new Tier 2 city, or do we invest more money in Blinkit? Both are risky. Both could be huge. How on earth do you choose?
To make this choice, he needs more than just raw data. He needs wisdom. And this is exactly where a decision support system, or a DSS, comes in. Think of it as your personal expert advisor, but it lives inside a computer. It takes all this massive data from sales, marketing, finance, and helps you explore what could happen with each decision.
So what makes a DSS so special?
Well, there are 4 key things to remember for your exam. 1, it's interactive, so Rohan can ask it direct questions. 2, it's flexible, so he can play around with the numbers and see what happens. 3, it's user-friendly, meaning you don't need to be a coding genius. And 4, and this is the coolest part, it performs what-if analysis. He can literally ask, what if sales for the new product are 20% lower than we expect? And the system will show him the possible results.
Now here is a major keyword for your exam, so pay attention. Rohan's choice is what we call a semi-structured decision. What does that mean? It means it's not a simple yes or no problem, but it's also not just pure guesswork. The DSS gives him the hard data, the structured part. But in the end, Rohan still has to use his own judgment, his gut feeling, to make the final call. The DSS supports his decision, it doesn't make the decision for him. That's the key.
Okay, so Rohan's business is growing, he's making smart strategic moves, but what happens when everything goes wrong? Because you know it eventually will. This brings us to our final concept for today, understanding the critical difference between analyzing a problem and making a decision when you're in a crisis.
And disaster strikes. His main supplier for that high-quality wood he needs just stops all deliveries. No warning, nothing. So no wood means no products. Production grinds to a halt. Craft Connect is facing a massive crisis. What does Rohan do first?
The first rule is he can't just panic. He has to separate 2 very critical steps. First is problem analysis. This is all about finding the what and the why. Why did the supplier stop? What's the real reason? Then comes decision-making. This is about choosing the what now. Okay, what should we do about it? Find a new supplier? Maybe change the product?
This flow is so important. Step 1, the crisis hits. Step 2, problem analysis. Rohan investigates and finds out the root cause is that his supplier actually went out of business. Now he knows the why. And only then, in step 3, does he move to decision-making. He evaluates his options and makes a choice. You have to remember the sequence. Analyze first, then decide.
Phew, we've covered a lot through Rohan's journey, right? So let's boil it all down into the most important points you absolutely need for your exams. Get ready to take a screenshot. This is your exam cheat sheet.
These are your PYQ keywords. You have to know them. We covered the business applications of IS that organized Rohan's chaos. We saw how a decision support system, or DSS, with its special what-if analysis, helped him with a big semi-structured decision. And finally, we saw the crucial difference between problem analysis and decision-making when crisis hit. So we saw how a few smart systems helped Rohan turn his idea from a mess into a structured, successful business. They gave him the power to organize, to decide, and to overcome a crisis. So the real question now isn't about Rohan. It's about you. Now that you understand these powerful tools, what amazing idea will you bring to life with them?